You are now listening to the Baseball Aficionado. Welcome back. Una vez más, back with you. Thanks for listening, of course, wherever you are. Before you do anything, if you're watching on YouTube, please, for the love of God, hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share. It helps us grow. But not only that, we love the interaction and we love all that stuff. So make sure you keep the engagement going. Without further ado, of course, on this episode, I want to talk about a little stuff that's going on in MLB. Obviously, some hot stove stuff, or should I say, the not so hot stove, as the moves have kind of been trickling here and there. Nothing crazy, but we're gonna talk about some of that. We're gonna talk about a little Caribbean League stuff. Of course, as you know, the Baseball Aficionados, your place for Latino baseball y más. So we'll talk about all that and more. But without further ado, I want to bring back one of my best friends here, a reoccurring guest, and of course, ya, él es parte del show. Without further ado, welcome back, Willy Baez, Bodega Sports.
Yo, what's up, Santos?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Big chillin', man. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Of course, all the time, bro. Ya tú sabes. This is your show, too?
I know, bro.
This is your other show. I got to go on your show, too, though. We haven't been able
Oh,
to make the times work, but,
I
I got
got
to go
30
on your
minutes
show.
after this.
30 minutes after, we'll see. Déjame ver cómo se portan los muchachos. Vamos a ver.
But
Pero,
what's up, Dame? What do you want to
nah,
start with?
bro. Listen, so there's a lot of ways we can go in, but I guess because we have a little agenda here, let's talk about what's, as I mentioned, about the hot stove or the not so hot stove, right? Depending on who
Yeah,
you ask.
yeah.
The lack of movement for certain teams. I mean, we'll start, I guess, with the most obvious. Obviously, we know weeks ago, Soto, we had it live on IG, all about it. What you call it? Instagram algorithm gold, right? Soto the
For
Mets,
sure.
right? What's next? Like, what's going on? Is this that's it, right? Mets are going to win the World Series.
Man, they need Pete Alonso. I don't know why they haven't signed him. Do you have any insight on that, or what do you see? Like, what's going on?
This is what I think as a Mets. Obviously, I'm a Mets fan. I think his market is not where he thought it was gonna be.
Mm,
I know he had a down year, but the first baseman, and obviously we know Vladdy's gonna be the big ticket for next year. He's a first baseman as well, and the assumption is that he's gonna get paid a lot. But we'll see how that goes. His situation is different, younger, different body type, different skill set, different
yeah,
player. More versatile, not more versatile, but more well-rounded than a Pete. A Pete is Pete is an older guy, lumbering type of guy, over 30, limited in certain things, but still a dependable slugger. So I think they're waiting him out. I still feel confident he resigns with the Mets. I just
yeah.
think it's going to be a deal that he doesn't necessarily want, but that he's going to have to take.
I got you. If I was him, I would take the whatever they're given to the. We'll get into the Goldschmidts and the Carlos Santanas later on, but what the market is saying is that it's about $12 million for those guys, older guys. So he's on the 20 range, right? So what I would do, in my opinion, take this as an extra arbitration year, if you can, sign for a year with the Mets and see if his value goes up once
Mm-hmm.
Vladimir signs. I think that's the route I would take because if he takes the money now, you're talking about maybe 150, you know, $1 million, maybe 172. That's what I saw in Spotrac.
Right, right.
But yeah, I would wait it out one more year. I know he's going to be 31, but come on, 30, 31. I mean,
You know what's the problem, though? I'll tell you the problem. The problem I think that's there. Obviously, two problems. Number one, Boris is his agent. That almost never
okay,
happens with Boris. He's very not flexible that way. He's trying to
okay,
get the biggest amount possible for as long of a period as possible, right? That's one. And number two, most importantly, to me, he pressed a lot last year. I
okay.
think that him, right? What he's doing is he's gonna extend it another year, and what's to think that he's gonna have a good year? He could. It's a risk. Like he could have a worse year because he presses even more. I think he
Okay.
wants that stability, even if
Security.
it's 4 year security for 3-4 years. I think instead of looking for 6 years, which he probably wants 5-6 years, look for 3 or 4 and see if they can get creative with the front load that money. I think that would be the best way.
Okay.
Here, Pete, here's 30 million for per year for 3 years, guarantee, and a fourth year player option, something like that.
I got you. All right. Mets, they need a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Another guy that we were talking about, Luis Castillo, I think would fit him like a glove.
Yeah.
A you know, and I think that they can give out either Sprout, which is a great prospect,
Yeah.
but you don't
Yeah.
know what he's gonna be on the major league, and then Jet Williams, which is maybe your
Right.
second or third prospect.
Yeah.
I think just get rid of them. Not both of them. Don't trade
Yeah.
both
Right.
of
Right.
them.
Right. Right. Right.
Right?
One or the other, plus lesser, maybe some lesser pieces.
Correct me.
That have upside.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
people are intrigued. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Mariners would be intrigued with El Jimmy, maybe.
Yeah.
You
Jimmy.
know,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Jimmy
somebody will
is
take a fly
yeah.
on him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jimmy's talented too. Guys like that sometimes they take a while to put it together, because they have tools. We've seen it. We've seen guys who have tools and they change scenery and then a light goes off. So
Yeah.
it's possible.
His situation reminds me, it's a little bit different, but Miguel Andújar, where,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
try to become, they try to make him a left fielder instead of a third base because of the defense. His bat is
Mm-hmm.
there, but he
Right.
struggles with health. So, I mean, he did have a freak injury. It wasn't like, like
It
he's
was a freak
injury
injury.
prone, but like they need to make moves. That's what you're saying. The Mets need to make moves because the Yankees, once Soto went out, Plan B right
Right
there,
away. Right
right
away. It's like
away.
the next day. The next day they went and got
Hey,
Max Fried. Then
mhm,
I'm not saying now again. We understand, right, that these are moves. They it looks good. The optics are good that they acted fast, right?
mhm,
Fine.
yeah,
Maybe they gave a little too much money to Max Fried, I think, but they had to. It's almost like
yeah,
you had to, right? But what
had
I'm saying is at least the optics for the Yankee fan look better than the optics for the Mets fan. Like the optics for the Mets are not good. Now it's early, still kind of early, not early. The Mets, but the optics don't look good. Like these BS signings that they're doing now, se me olvidó el nombre de este muchacho, un americano, qué sé yo qué, 5 something ERA. My head wanted to
Clay
explode. I'm like, who?
Holmes
No, 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 no,
or
not
Griffin.
Holmes. It was a good signing.
Yeah, he
Griffin.
was, he was.
I'm like, what? And I understand he's not gonna, but I'm like, you're doing this? This is your big plan?
I
Like,
got that notification. I was like, who is this
I
person? Who do they sign? Like, who is
had
this
to I
person?
had to Google him.
Yeah,
I didn't know who he was. I'm serious. I didn't know who
yeah.
he was because I didn't follow that. I don't know every single scrub on every roster. I don't. So
All right, so what's next for somebody like Orioles, which had a great year? I think they're slacking right now. They're just
yeah,
sleeping on their,
totally, totally,
know,
totally.
what's next for them?
They should resign Anthony Santander. I think he
Not
fits
gonna
them
happen.
more than anybody else. But it's not
I
gonna
agree.
happen.
Not
But
gonna happen.
they should. They should, like, aren't they changing ownership,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or in transition of that, like, where is all this money that they're gonna spend? They got a beautiful ballpark that was ahead of its time, right? Beautiful. The Marlins, excuse me, the Orioles have a beautiful history if you look back, right? And what are they doing? They could be a potentially third or fourth place team in 2025 if they don't do anything.
If they don't. Yeah,
You got
I agree.
them. You have them, right? You mentioned in the same division, the Red Sox. I mean, Chapman now. Why not Chapman 6 years ago? I mean, what are they
What are they
doing? Like,
doing?
what are they doing? Like, the Red Sox are lost. They put their name in the Soto sweepstakes just because they wanted to
Scott
look like
Boras.
it.
No, I think that Scott Boras just kind of grabbed the Red
Hmm.
Sox and Toronto and was like, "All right, put a bid for him." I
Right,
think he
right.
just dragged them through the process. That was it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like construction. Like you need multiple bidders. Like that's all it was.
There's too many
Eh,
teams who don't want. It seems like there's too many teams who just don't want to compete. It bothers me. They don't want to. Like, I'm not saying you got to spend a lot, but hello, like the Guardians, they traded Andres Jimenez,
yeah.
right? Andres
So they don't
Jimenez
have
is,
to pay him.
so they don't have to pay him. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but he's a candidate who could have a bounce back year in 2025. He's shown that he's a good player. He's not a bad player.
No,
You
no.
barely have offense as it is, and you subtract more. from
Well,
your
no, that's the
offense.
thing. No, he was harming them on offense though. I, his OPS
No, no,
plus,
I
he was not
understand,
good
but he's
offensively.
shown. I understand that, but what I'm saying is, what did you get back? It's what I'm saying. You're not. It's not like you got hit. You got back like a top uh, prospect with huge upside or something like that. His value was low. Why trade somebody when their value is low? That's my
Yeah,
point. For
yeah,
that, keep
okay,
him.
yeah, I
That's the
agree.
point. What did you get?
I
You got
agree.
a bag of baseballs. Like what you got for him? Maybe my point is that you're not paying him much, right? Maybe he bounces back and he's not that expensive. Instead, you trade him for garbage because you don't want to pay him a few more dollars more. Like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to talk about
Hmm.
is the Phillies. Right. I've said that they're better than the Mets right now,
Yeah.
and they're right there with the Braves,
Uh
maybe
huh. Yeah.
better,
I
just
they,
because of their
I
pitching.
I think the Braves are better just on pedigree because they were hurt, bro. They were
They got
very
hurt.
hurt last year.
I
Like the
agree.
Mets, the people don't realize I'm a realistic Mets fan. I live in the real world. Mets got so lucky that the Braves were hurt.
Mhm.
Mets got so lucky. Like we had no bro, and they still almost beat us. If the Braves healthy, they beating everybody in that division. Everybody.
I
I'm
agree.
telling you right now, people disrespect the Braves. Now they got to add to that team. I don't know what they are next year, but like you said, we'll see.
Yeah, and I think that's about it about the teams that are still cold, that they're contenders,
Yeah.
right? Who do you got signing Santander?
I mean, it looks like it's probably not going to be the Yankees, but I mean, it still could be, but I doubt it. I don't know. Like
Doubt it.
that's a big mystery. I mean, maybe the Phillies, Phillies love, hitters who can't field. So, you know what I mean? With power.
That is
It's
true.
true. He looks like a Philly to me now. Now that I think about it, he's got that Philly. Philly, for some reason, is allergic to defense. Like they don't like, they just want to hit. That's what they do.
Let me let
And
me let me
yeah,
rile
all right,
the algorithm on this one.
go.
Why not trade Starling Marte and get him? You got money.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Put him on left field or put Soto on left field. You got Jose
He's talking
Siri
about,
roaming the
uh-huh.
whole thing. I mean,
Right, right.
you might as well get another power hitter. That's if Pete Alonso doesn't sign with
Here's
them.
my okay. No, I like what you're saying in theory, but here's a hot take for me, and nobody's paying attention to this.
Go.
Who's to say that Jose City is gonna last the whole season? That's not guaranteed. He's gonna hit enough. I don't think he hit less. He
210.
hits less. He hits less than Williams. Then I'm sorry, not Williams. What the hell is
Bader.
his name? No, no, no. Williams. It is with sorry, Taylor. He hits less than Tyrone
Tyrone
Taylor.
Taylor. Yeah.
He's got more pop, but he's not an upgrade like that.
No, no, no. He's not an upgrade. I agree with you,
No,
but his defense is elite. You have
no,
a
defense is
ninth
great.
hitter. You feel me? You got Juan Lagares 2.0
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
little bit of more
More,
pop.
more pop. Yep.
That's all it is. That's all it
Hmm.
is to him. So if I was the Mets, I would be looking into it. I'll be just, ringing the phones. Let me see. Hey, where is he right now?
I can't trade Marte though. Like I understand it. This is, and I get it from what you're saying.
Hmm.
My point is right. Marte is right now, and it's the same point I made about Jimenez. Diminished returns, right? Why are you gonna trade him for 50 cents on the dollar because he's always banged up? But meanwhile, the 50 cents or the 50% when he was on the field, he was in every single rally when the Mets won.
Yeah, that
The
is true.
problem with him is health. It's
Mhm.
health. That's it. Health. The
Yeah, but
end.
it's not gonna
Health.
get better, man. He's a
That's
year
the
older.
problem. Yeah.
Come on.
You're right.
You gotta get younger. That's
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 true.
the end
That's a
of it.
good point. That I get. Okay, I understand that part. I understand, but my only thing is, I'm not gonna trade him for a science experiment. Is what I'm saying. Like, I don't see anything that's of value that he's unless you can fleece somebody.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll fleece somebody, but I doubt it.
In my opinion, I don't care. I would like to see him on in the Martins. To be
Starling
honest,
Marte
no, 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 not Stanley Marte. I'm sorry, Santander. I would
or
like to see him in the
Santander.
Martins. I think
That's not
that people will show
happening.
up. People will show up. There's a lot of Venezuelans
Yeah,
here.
of course. Yep, yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but they got to start doing something. They can't just be like the Oakland A's. They kind of force their hand to, like to sign people like Luis Severino and people like that
That's
because they
their
weren't
big
spending money.
acquisition.
Yeah. And they overpaid for him because they needed to. I don't know if you know
Mhm.
this story about the Oakland A's, but they were gonna put in like a, how do you call it? Basically they were gonna sue them, right?
A grievance,
Like
like a
a
grievance. They're gonna
grievance.
file a
That is
grievance.
correct. They were gonna file a
Yeah,
grievance,
porque no
and all
gastan.
that. That's all it is. Basically, since they get money from the big teams, right? From all the
Revenue
money that
sharing.
comes in, revenue share to all 30 teams, they were gonna file a grievance, and they were like, "Okay, okay, okay, don't worry, we're gonna spend money on the team, and this is what we're gonna do." They gotta
Oh
do the same
my
shit to the Marlins. I
god.
mean, I'm sorry, but
Oh.
come on.
I think, see, I think Santander, you're not wrong. It's just that hay que ser realista con esta
Yeah,
cosa.
it's not gonna
Señores,
happen.
the
I get
Marlins
it.
haven't spent money in like a decade or something. Like they don't buy anybody. Who they buying?
Well, 8 years
They
ago,
should.
they gave out money. Not 10 years ago. I don't even remember when the Giancarlo Stanton
Right,
happened,
right.
but
Yeah, they
that
about
was the
eight
last
years,
thing.
7 8 years, seven. Yeah, yeah. But then what they do, wasn't it like literally like the next halfway All
Yeah,
Star trade deadline? It was almost like the same the next All Star break or whatever. It was like
yeah,
terrible, terrible.
it
Like
was
what are we,
terrible.
they're a joke.
Yeah,
But
they are. All right, Bregman. Who do you got signing him?
this is a good one.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so Bregman, you know what's crazy?
Mhm.
I have a, and it's gonna sound again. I could be wrong. I have a sneaky suspicion the Mets are gonna sign him. I just feel like it's coming. I keep hearing there's a lot of smoke there. People want to have Bregman with now. I would like him for the Yankees. I think he would be a great fit for either
I
team.
think the Yankees don't have the money anymore.
That's the
They had
problem.
$80 million coming off the books, and I think that's it.
See,
That's it.
people have you're right. They have the misconception that if they sign Bregman, they can't sign Pete. No, that's not like that.
Mhm.
There's a DH spot. I believe that they would put Mark Vientos in that spot. Stearns has already told you. Remember, we talked about this offline. How many times did we see Mark Vientos get switched in late inning replacements, defensive
Too
replacements?
many
How many
times. Too
times?
many play. Too many
Two,
times.
right? So what does
Too
that
many
tell you?
times.
He doesn't trust his glove.
Hmm.
They're trying to, where there's smoke, there's fire. They keep mentioning Bregman with the Mets. Stearns wants Bregman.
Hmm.
You could tell he wants his defense. Now, Bregman may be on the decline. That's another discussion. He's
Yeah,
not quite what he was. He's not washed, but he's not what he was. But I think he wants Bregman, and I think he still has a chance at Pete. That's not done yet.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I can definitely see it. You know who the Mets remind me? They remind me of the early 2000s in New York Knicks, getting all these washed
Oh,
players,
come on.
just
No, no,
giving
no.
them
Va a
contracts, keeping their.
seguir. Go ahead. Sí, como
Keeping
si
their
los Yankees
lives
no hacen
alive.
eso. No, los Yankees no hacen eso. Okay,
Oh
Christian
no, no,
Walker's
no,
young.
no, no, no. Paul
I
Goldschmidt.
mean, that was Astros did that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Paul.
Uh-huh.
Oh, even better. Paul.
Goldschmidt.
I know. Christian Walker went to the Astros, right? Everybody, when the Astros do it, it's okay, right? So now let's go to the Yankees, like you said, Goldschmidt.
Yeah. Now we got four MVPs, former MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, if you were telling me this team was coming together 8 years ago, forget it. I mean, you're
Yeah,
talking about murderous row again, right?
yeah.
But
But right
coño,
now,
come on.
but Bregman, I would say this: I would like to see him on the Mets, but I can definitely see somebody like, I don't know. I can't even think about a team. Like
Who?
who
Yeah. Who
is
wants to spend
looking
money?
for a third base? Who is looking for $150 million third baseman right
Cubs? Uh, I don't
now?
think they're looking for one, but I think they could sign somebody. I mean,
I mean, no, no, no. They did free up the Isa Paredes and they freed up
hmm
Cam Smith, which was their top prospect on third base.
Paredes is not good defensively either. That was
No, no,
that
no,
was part of the
no.
issue. You know, and
Mm,
he struggled. He was terrible with them last year, and he was way better with the Rays. I like Paredes' bat. I think he's a good
yeah,
bat, you know,
he
but
is.
not. I don't know if he's a starter every day like that.
I would say, you know what, the Cubs, that's not a bad one. They got the
Yeah,
money. They don't have a plan, so they can just make it as they go.
yeah. What are they doing? I don't get them. Like Cubs just make no sense to me.
Like, why
Honestly,
did
I
they
don't get
trade
them.
for Cal Tucker? Where are they going?
Where are they going? They're not going anywhere. I mean, unless they're gonna make 3 moves or 3 or 4 moves that we didn't see coming out of nowhere. I mean, they brought
Eh,
Sammy back, but
what I would say is the Cubs want to stay competitive and if they see a path by the second half, then they'll make the moves there. But they want
uh-huh.
to see what they have right now. That's what
Right,
I'm
right.
thinking. Like they want to see,
Maybe.
okay, let's see, okay, let's gauge and see if we can make it to the postseason because there's a higher chance since we're on the Central Division. You never know.
Right, right.
But yeah, they're just going with the flow. That's why I appreciate Mets, Yankees, the Dodgers, San Diego. They
Yeah,
have
they're
a
going
mission. They're
for it.
like, okay, we're
Yeah.
going for it, and that's all it is. All right,
Yeah.
Juan Soto. I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, we're not gonna spend too much time with Juan Soto. We've spoken too much about it,
Oh
but
my God. Yeah, right.
I did want to have the discussion with you. Do you think, right, that he benefited from the 700 million that Shohei Ohtani got?
Absolutely. On what plan? Like before, okay, let's take Shohei Otani's contract out, right? Let's pretend that didn't happen yet, right? On what planet was Juan Soto getting $700 million prior to that happen? That was not happening.
No.
Was not happening. Boris saw that figure and said, "Okay, I need to beat this figure." That was what Boris did. That figure would have been more like a 5, maybe even a 6 for a week, maybe a 6,
Maybe.
maybe, but not 7.
No.
And he said, "Look, we're gonna take the number. We're gonna destroy the number." That's what they did. They obliterated the number.
Yeah.
Now, credit to them for doing so. Always believe this: if you get it, then you're worth it. Now, but with that contract comes a great responsibility.
Mhm.
And people don't understand when I say, from being a Mets fan, there's pressure with the Yankees. The pressure with the Mets is different. Not that sometimes it weighs more because of the failures of the past.
Okay.
That weighs a lot.
Mm, damn. I can see what you're saying. I get you 100%, and I agree with my question. Yes, it really benefited him. There was no way somebody was going to get 700 million. There was other factors though. That's what I was going
Hmm.
to get into, and I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
yeah.
you agree with me. One was the competition between the New York rivalry, right?
Oh, big
That
time, big
hyped
time.
up the
Hmm.
price.
Yeah, big
Scott
time, big
Boras
time,
hyped
big
up the
time.
price. What was another thing that
Age,
well,
age.
age? Damn,
Yeah, that's
age. Yeah,
listen. That all played a
26.
factor.
Everything.
That and the fact that he did what he did last season. Let's be honest, he had his best offensive statistical season.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's there's the war. He led the. I mean, the war. We talked about this offline. What would his war be if he actually played better defense? What would his war? He'd be like an 11 war player. Like
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. No.
he doesn't
I.
play great defense, and his war is like almost 10 or 9. So like it's ridiculous. Like offensively, there's no debate. Like he's a top 2 or 3 best offensive player in the sport. He doesn't have to be my favorite. The numbers
No.
tell you that. The numbers tell you that. So
Now I have a question for you. What
yeah,
have you seen the incentives on his contract?
go walk me through them.
Okay. So 1 million if he wins the MVP,
Mm,
right? I'm sorry, 500,000.
500,000.
Five
Okay.
hundred thousand, and then $1 million, subsequent if he wins another MVP is $1 million, right?
Wow. Okay.
350 if he's on second place, right? And
Not
then
bad.
150,000 if he goes between third and fifth place. He also gets for the entirety of his career, 15 years, he will also get a private suite for his family,
All right. That I
four
knew.
MV,
Yeah.
yeah, four seats, right? A like on the VIP where the family sits,
Right.
if they want to go into the field. And what was the other thing? I think that was it. When it comes to, I know that the suites was a whole issue with the Yankees and all this stuff. If I'm not mistaken, if you put it in today's money for 15 years and they rent it out for the same amount of money that they are right now, it's about worth $24 million.
Wow. Wow. That's yeah.
Yeah,
That's that's big time.
that is big
I
time.
I don't think that I'll be honest, and this is just my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't think the Yankees wanted him as much as people think.
I
Because
agree. Not for
if you
that
want
price.
the play, no. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you really want him, you pay the price.
Yeah.
If you really want him, I know that sounds crazy for us, but we don't have in their world. Think about it. The Yankees generate more money than anybody. I
Yeah.
understand that Cohen obviously has other ventures. He's got more money, but still, that money pays for itself. Those contracts pay themselves. Let's not
Mhm.
be crazy. It's not like us when we over there doing a budget to do a compra.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, how much of money out of my check, right? I gotta do a compra, right? Me quedan whatever, a few hundred. Let me pace myself, whatever, right? Phone bill, all that crap. No, that's not like that. That money is allocated for and it pays for itself. They sell sweets, they sell merch, uh, revenue sharing, the Yes Network. That all makes money.
Mhm.
So, and all the, not to mention all the Dominican supporters and other Latino supporters, right? In
Yeah.
that neighborhood. I mean, they could have made that money tenfold and they chose not to match the contract. So, you
I
know,
think they got in terms of the business side, I think that they got their money's worth. They only paid him 30
yeah,
million.
yeah, you're
That's
right. It
about
was
it.
worth
You
it.
know, it
Business,
was
it was
worth
great
it that
business.
whole
Great
year.
business.
It was
Great
great.
business. Yeah, I agree. They didn't lose money. No,
The Mets is yet to be seen. I don't think he cares though. I don't think that the
no.
owner really cares, but with a caveat because he's all big and everything. But I gotta be honest. Like you saw how they. I mean, I don't know if you saw the story about a Jordan Montgomery and how
Right.
Arizona's owner was like, "That was the worst decision I ever made."
Yeah, yeah. No, that was terrible. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
felt bad for that guy because he was like ERA was 5 or 6, whatever it was this
And
year.
he didn't. That was very unprofessional. Like he doesn't deserve that.
Very, very
No.
unprofessional.
Well,
You know,
you
you
have
already
to
pay
try
the
to
guy. Like you
fix
gotta
the situation, make it right.
within within the inside. You shouldn't be in
In
public with it.
privately.
Yeah. But basically, Cohen, I think, great guy, right? But I think that what he showed me 2 years ago, or I guess last year, when he traded Verlander and he traded Scherzer, is that he's not as patient as we think he is.
No, no, not at all.
And I think that right now, two people got to be, like nervous, which have to be the GM, David Stearns, and the manager. I think both of them, they got to be, they're already on the hot seat. If
Yeah,
they're
they got to
under
win.
500, both of them out. Well,
Yeah.
maybe David Stern stays, but I think Mendoza is out. If they're under 500 by the 80 game or 82nd game, whatever it is, I think he's out. They're gonna
I
put
don't
in
think
whoever you think might get the job done.
I don't think you see, but to me, I don't think that would be fair because if that's the case, right? Let's say the off season is the Mets don't do enough, right? In the off season, let's say it's whatever is decent. They don't get those top line rotation guys where we want bullpen guys, whatever, right? To me, that falls on. It depends on what this general manager does. So, like, if he doesn't give him enough horses to work with, and Mendoza doesn't perform, I could
Mhm.
understand being in the hot seat. But to me, it depends on what the owner's got to be smart enough to know who's at fault. Like
Yeah,
if he stacks the team up and they underperform, then that's the manager. If he doesn't equip the team well enough, he's gonna say, "Listen, all this money came off the books, and you spent money on this. Why are we not winning?" So it could work both ways.
here I have your manager already. I already know who it is. I might get canceled for it, but
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry.
you're already
But
firing Carlos Mendoza. My God.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you who it is right now.
Go
Ian
ahead.
Kinsler.
Uh,
You know why?
no, we're gonna get canceled. Don't do
We're
this.
gonna get canceled.
Don't
I'm not
do
gonna say
this.
why.
No, I know why. Don't. I already picking up what you're putting down, bro.
Sorry,
They're
man.
gonna. Damn, you know, damn, you are an assassin, bro. I wasn't even thinking of that until you said the name, and then I said, "Oh crap, we screwed." Okay, so you think that his patience? How can I say this in the right way? You
Hmm.
think his patience is gonna run out because maybe he has a different candidate that he prefers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he was the one who brought in Mendoza, though. Wouldn't he
I
want
know.
him to do well regardless? Or I'm being naive in thinking that?
I think you're being naive. I think that
Okay,
he's not
okay.
as patient as we think he is. That's all it is.
So they're
People are
trying to
gonna make
keep it
fun of him. Remember,
right.
these billionaires, they talk with everybody, and he's under 500. He's famous because of the Mets. They're like, oh man, I don't know. I think Hal kind of got a leg up on you. You're gonna spend 700 million on this guy. I don't know. Like, I think that chatter kind of goes around on the upper level of that
Hmm.
we just don't know when
We're
they
not
vanish.
privy to it.
Correct.
I think a guy like Mendoza who had the year that he basically turned like, he turned tuna fish salad into like a gourmet meal. Like, like I think he deserves a little more. Uh, Me personally, I think he deserves more
Oh no,
respect
for
and more.
sure.
Yeah.
And I
You're
love
talking
when
about how they would think. You're saying, right?
how they
Obviously,
would.
now you don't think that way, but
No. Who was on the table when they spoke? It was him, meaning Cohen, his wife. David Stearns was there, but in my opinion, these type of contracts are built between Scott Boras and the owner. David Stearns is just there for, like to sign and
to
make sure
broker,
the paperwork,
kind of like a broker.
basically a broker fee. But at the end of the day, that was between the owner and Scott Boras, and I I didn't see Carlos Mendoza being named anywhere. I'm sorry, he wasn't
Ooh,
on any conversations.
wow, wow.
What does that tell you?
Hmm. So you know what? If this comes back around and a
Mhm.
change is made within the next year or so, then you're gonna look like a genius. But
It's
I gotta say this.
how
Uh-huh.
it goes. I mean, I saw Aaron Boone flying in to California. Just saying,
Mm, maybe what if Mendoza wasn't available? What if was in Venezuela?
$700 million you're giving out to this
If you
guy.
leave Venezuela,
You
you
want
gotta
your
leave.
ship.
Yeah.
You gotta leave. You come on now.
But how do we not know that Carlos Mendoza might be one of the reasons he even decided to go to the Mets? Because there's a lot of Latinos there. The
Nah,
comfort.
nah,
I
nah,
mean,
nah.
the money is the main thing.
It's
Obviously,
the money. It's the
obviously,
money, man.
who
Come on.
cares about the manager, right? You're gonna lose 100
Let me
games
tell you how many managers he's gonna see. About five.
in that. Oh no, you're crazy now.
Yeah. About
You're
three man.
crazy.
About five. Yeah, about three every 5 years. Yeah.
Do you know what? Okay, now I'm gonna mention something that. Okay, here's the thing. I'm starting to notice something here with you.
Go for it.
You don't like Mendoza.
I
I'm
like
starting to
Mendoza.
see. No, you
No.
don't.
I
You
like
don't like
Mendoza. I'm
Mendoza.
sorry. I like
Not as
Mendoza.
much as I do, though. I
No.
think
Not
you
as much
don't.
as you
You
do.
don't like. I don't think you like Mendoza. I'm telling you why. Because or you don't believe in Mendoza.
I don't
Mendoza did
believe
a
that he can
great
put it.
job last year.
I don't believe that he can put it together. You know who I really like? Joe Spada. Yeah, I'm talking about Latino managers that I've seen. This guy, not Joe Spada, also Alex Cora. Come on
Joe
now. I like
Espada,
them.
after the way he started the season, now he had a lot of injuries. I can't count Joe Espada. It's hard to evaluate him. But
I'm sorry, man, but he was on the West. He has some competition, and he made it happen. And he didn't have all of his starters throughout the season. Verlander didn't show up, and he wasn't going to show up. And then
did
you
Men-
also had that Venezuelan kid, I forgot his name, that was supposed to be a really good starter. Couldn't happen. He just got Tommy John. He just had a lot of
Garcia,
injuries on that team.
Garcia
Garcia, yeah, Luis Garcia, and Pito just
fell off
left,
a cliff. That was it.
fell
It's
off
a
a
wrap.
cliff, and they
He's
had to
done.
come in with
Yeah.
a I forgot who it was, the African American dude, not Dominic Smith. Who was the first baseman? Simmons? Is that who it was?
Forgot his name. The guy. I know
Uh,
you're talking about his.
yeah.
But I
Chubby
know what you mean.
guy. Hmm.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. However, I think if the manager is good, come on,
Yeah.
like the guy, they didn't have a bullpen. They didn't have a bullpen. They didn't even have a closer for most of the year because Edwin Diaz was like in and out. That was not. That was like the ghost of Edwin Diaz. I don't want to hear it. Edwin Diaz did not have a good year. I'm sorry, did not.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I agree. I agree.
he did not have a
I
good
didn't
year.
expect it. I don't think you expected it either to be a
No,
good year for
of
him.
course I didn't. I thought they were dead in June. Of course I didn't expect it, but they had a great season. So let's just see. Let's wait and see. I
Oh
see.
no, no,
I
I was talking
understand your
about Edwin
skepticism.
Diaz. Edwin Diaz, like I don't think both of us expected him to have a great season. We understood that
No,
he was coming back.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it was.
I thought he'd be a little better. He had moments, but
Yeah.
the consistency was not there. Maybe this year he'll be finally. I think he does that a lot. 1 year good, 1 year not good. So this is his good year now coming. So
I hope so. I really hope so. I like Edwin Diaz. You know when he does this every time. You
yeah,
you
his
never
brother
seen
does
that?
the same thing, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I saw a
they
compilation. I have
terrible.
he did. All
Oh
right,
my god.
next one. Latinos who left money on the table. Talk to me about this one though. Who do you think left money on the table? Who are some of
Eh,
these Latino players that you think?
everybody left money on the table. Nah, I mean I got three that come to mind. Obviously, Jose Ramirez. I mean, why would you stay in Cleveland? I appreciate his loyalty. I
Yeah.
guess it's rare. Which I part of me appreciates, but then the other part is like, que bruto. Like, you know how
He
much
gave
money Jose Ramirez could have made on the market? He would have made money. He would have made money.
I don't know, man. I
But
don't
look at
know.
the deal
We
he signed. 7 year,
yeah.
100. Come on. Would have made double that at least. Come on.
Yes, I would agree with you. I just I don't know if people appreciate it as much, you know? Like it's like Carlos Guillén type of thing, like Victor Martinez signing with
Those
the
were
Red
good.
Sox.
Oh, Victor
I'm
Martinez was
talking
a
about like
beast
guys
hitting.
that I don't know, they didn't really get great deals and they went out to the market. They just weren't as known. People didn't value them as much. I don't know.
Ramirez
Like
is
it
better
was
than
a
those
hard
guys,
sell.
though.
Of course
Ramirez is
not.
better than those guys. Come on.
Yeah,
Ramirez
I
is,
agree.
is on a Hall of Fame trajectory and people don't even know it. They don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
realize it. They don't realize it. I defend Jose Ramirez more than the average Dominican does.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
I know that. I know that.
Dominicans are too busy being up Soto's ass that they don't realize how good they have other players. They don't realize it.
Great plays.
They're great player. Oh, Julio's washed up. You see them come back this year. He hit 30, 33, and ese es de lo mío. Oh, yeah. They'll come back this year.
I'll say this: people that left money on the table, but there's a caveat to the question, right? Is
Uh-huh.
people that left money on the table, but we knew by then that they had the talent
Hmm.
to actually go out to the market and get more money. They decided not to.
Right, right.
The other guy that you were gonna say, I'm assuming, is Jordan Alvarez.
Oh,
No,
Yordan Alvarez, definitivo. Like the guy, and obviously now we see all the comparisons, and I understand. And let me be clear, okay? I don't hate a man that makes his money. Like Soto's contract, I worry about the contract being a disaster. It's more an indictment on the Mets than it is Soto.
yeah,
I worry because it's the Mets. If he signs somewhere else, I ain't worried about it, right? But with Jordan could have gotten a contract comparable if he would have hit the maybe. I don't know how high it would have been, but he could
yeah,
have gotten something similar to like in the $400 million range if he hit free agency in his 20s because of
mm,
his age. He's
yeah,
a great hitter. Like, look at his stats. Like, his stats and Soto's stats, it's not a lie that
yeah.
they're
They're right there.
comparable.
They're
They're
right there.
comparable. The only thing is that Jordan strikes out less, Soto strikes out more, but he also walks a lot more. So, what they value, that's why probably Soto would have still gotten paid a ton of money. So,
No, and also he brings something to a table, which is like merchandise.
right, right.
The
Branding,
marketability is
right.
great. Jordan Alvarez is a guy that, at the end of the day, is hard to market. He doesn't want to be marketed either. He's very soft spoken, very nice guy. From what we hear from Yusuf, like a very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice and quiet kid.
See,
But
a
he's
guy
just,
like that,
you know,
yeah,
it's
no,
hard.
you're 100% right. A guy like that is if the Marlins had a brain and they would have,
Ah,
that's the kind of guy you have in Miami.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
kind, he's
That's
Soto
the
in
kind of guy.
Miami, he's Soto.
Yeah.
He's Soto in Miami.
Damn. That
They're
left-handed
they're
bat.
dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb. That's the kind of guy. You see that the Marlins, if they were smart a couple years ago, they had to put, you know, when Soler was bouncing around, I know he was there already, but I'm
Mhm.
saying they had to have a Soler there. They needed to have a Yordan Alvarez there. They needed to have Yasmani Grandal. They had to put all these guys together. Even if it flops in the beginning, figure it out. At
I
least you'll
agree.
sell tickets.
I agree. And I think that this kid, the Marlins GM, he has an idea. I don't think he has the money, but I trust him. He came from the Tampa Bay Rays. I trust he's gonna do good. I need to see more movement. Though. I need to
Yeah,
see more movement because what I liked about him, and of course we haven't seen anything on like right now on the winter meetings. We haven't seen anything on the off season. He made he got good prospects during the regular season. He got
absolutely.
really good prospects. Agustin Ramirez is coming. Davidson de los Santos. He
Oh,
hit 40
ese
home
muchacho
runs.
batea. They gave him away. Wasn't
Yeah,
he
they gave
a
him away.
Arizona prospect?
He was.
Right? They
And
gave him
Cleveland
away.
got him on the draft on the 5 rule draft, and they
Right,
didn't
Rule
keep
5
him.
draft. Yeah. They
And he went back
they
to
gave him
Arizona,
away.
traded him.
Gave him away.
I
I don't
know.
understand. Now I understand. I think the issue with him is he doesn't really have a position. But a guy who hits like that, you find a position for him.
You find a position.
You find
Totally
it.
fine.
Here, DH, yeah.
No, no, no. Left field. Left field is
Left
wherever
field.
no one has a position, they put you on left field.
Left
That's all it
field.
is.
Left field.
All right. Let's see. The last two signings. Yankees signed Paul Goldschmidt, 12.5 or $12 million. What's your opinion on that one?
Low risk, low reward. Oh, high reward, excuse me. Low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
It could listen. He had a decent second half if you look, because I kind of dug back into this move, and I'm like, typical Yankees. I kind of
Mhm.
shrugged it off, but then I went back. I said, you know what? I like it better than Arenado, to
Yeah.
be honest. Even though now Arenado's younger than him, I
Mhm.
think Goldschmidt has a little more left. Maybe you get a motivated Goldschmidt. Pero coño, it ain't gonna be. It's just this year, so you better pray that he's got something.
Hey, here's what I say about 1 year deals. There's no bad 1 year deals.
I agree,
That's
100%,
it.
hundred
I
percent. That's
mean,
it. You
come
taking a
on.
shot.
You're
You
taking a
taking a
shot.
shot.
You got Ben Rice on the bench.
Yeah,
If
Ben
it
Rice.
doesn't work,
Ben
you got Cody Bellinger in case you want to bring him from center field and play first base. You got him there.
The
So in my
versatility.
opinion, that's all you need. That's
Yeah.
all you need is basically let's see what Paul Goldschmidt brings to the table. If he doesn't bring anything, all right, we'll platoon him with these guys, and that's all it is.
Qualified bodies. Give
Qualified
yourself
bodies.
options. Your bodies,
But
right? Qualified
all
bodies.
all that this reminds me of basically is the Yankees being the Yankees, signing Ichiro, signing Carlos Beltran after his prime, signing
Yeah.
Andy
Yeah.
Ibanez, signing. It brings memories of old players that we all. Last one, Carlos Santana, going back home to Cleveland. What do you think?
I guess. I mean, I kind of liked him with Minnesota. I thought that was a nice fit for him. But where's Cleveland going? But I guess it's a sentimental story. Guardians. I mean, this is their best move. This is what they got. You know, come on. I don't know.
A 39
It's
year
very
old Carlos Santana.
that we were
That's the
saying
best
was
we can
done
do.
last year, right?
No, no, no. I
Um,
said that he was done.
you
I
said
said
it.
he
I
was
didn't. I
done.
said give him a
I'm
chance.
sorry.
I said it was
Yeah.
give him a chance. Pero coño, now you're trying to press your luck again for another. I was just saying for give him a chance last year, not for another year. At some point, the wheels fall off. No, I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
uh,
I don't know. I think that he will retire regardless if he wins another gold glove. I think that he retires after this year. I think it's a great story for the Guardians. As a team that is trying to compete for the playoffs, you just let go. You trade a guy that got 100 RBIs.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
but there's something I don't know. There's something wrong with you. What are you
yeah,
doing? What's your
yeah.
plan?
So real story, right? True
Mhm.
story. I wanted to add this context because I know how
Yeah.
much you love the Gold Gloves, but so the context, right?
Mhm.
Not does not love the Gold Gloves, but for context, Carlos Santana, like a lot of the Latino first basemen were like some of the older guys to win first baseman. winning to win Gold Gloves. Julie Gurriel won it. He was already past his mid 30s when he won a Gold Glove. And years before that, decades before that, Victor Peyo, who was from Puerto Rico, um, he won 7 Gold Gloves. One of those Gold Gloves he won in his mid 30s too. So like
Wow,
this is a very typical thing where older Latino first basemen winning Gold Gloves. Isn't that interesting?
that is
At
interesting. I
first
didn't know
base,
that
though, I'm
actually.
saying with
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it makes sense for old
They
people after they make their move to first
to go to
base.
first base
I
and
got you. I got
yeah,
you.
right, right, yeah. So
All right, now we have basically the Caribbean series, not the Caribbean series, but we're gonna talk about la pelota invernal all
there you
around.
go.
Basically, Lidom, la puertorriqueña, venezolana. You've been doing so much digging more than I have. I've been
Yeah, I
sticking
love
with
it.
Lidom. So you tell me, I'm gonna ask you basically every country that I know that actually is going to the Caribbean series, and
Except
you tell
Japan.
me,
I have no clue. I'm sorry. I can't keep up with it. It's too much. The time difference is
yeah,
just ridiculous. I
no,
can't.
no, no. In terms
Yeah.
of Japan, I think that I don't know if it's like a team that it's already chosen,
Es
where
una
they're
selección, I think.
correct or un Ventu, like whoever's available
Mhm.
type of thing.
Un Ventú.
Yeah, un
Yeah, yeah.
Ventu.
Un Ventú.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see about Japan. We have no idea. But
No
Puerto
idea.
Rico, tell me who do you think is going to win and go into the Caribbean series?
Los indios de Mayagüez.
Okay.
Um, and the reason I say that is now for people who don't know, in Puerto Rico, this is the first year in a long time that los Senadores de San Juan have been there in the tournament again or in the league again. After years of being out, los Senadores de San Juan had a lot of history. Obviously, the former major leaguer Jose Abreu was there. Um, Joan Moncada was playing there till he left and hurt his fouled the ball off his foot, whatever. But long story short, los Senadores de San Juan are there. Los Indios de Mayagüez are up there. Um, los Criollos de Caguas, the returning champions, están en el sótano. They've had a terrible year, but they've been playing better lately. But to me, it's going to be Los Indios de Mayagüez with their presence of veterans. Emmanuel Rivera, Eddie Rosario, um, Martin Maldonado. That veteran presence has really led them. They've done really well in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They've heated up, and I think they're the most balanced team. They're not even in the first position right now. They're right there with San Juan. I think they're like a game behind, but I think they're gonna win it.
I got you. All right. A Dominican Republic, who you got?
Dominican Republic. So this is the trickier one. What makes the Dominican Republic, people don't realize how hard Lidon is to win because it's essentially 2 seasons. It's like you have that sprint to get the first four, to get in the top four, right? You have that first sprint, and then you have that what seems like a marathon where the round robin seems like it goes on for like a month and a half. And a lot can change, right? Llegan los refuerzos. Los refuerzos, you know that in the Caribbean, when you get the refuerzo, that almost changes the whole panorama, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
But long story short, I think and we were talking about this offline as well. I think we're looking at the epic battle of the clash of the Titans. We are looking at obviously Licey and La Aguilas Cibaeñas. Yeah, these influence has been ridiculous on Las Aguilas, but to me, I have to lean to the repeat. And I'm talking about Licey, just because I think the experience factor is going to be there. I think they've played in these round robins before as this unit. Now, it could go either way. Estrellas is really poking their head out too. They've been consistent. So it's between those three, but I think it'll come down to Licey Águilas again. And I have Licey winning again.
I gotta be honest. Of course, Lidon is the one that I've been paying attention the most. But in terms of Las Estrellas, I got to see them closely, like even interview them, right? What I like about them is not only their manager, Fernando Tatis Sr.
Yeah,
What I
yeah.
like about them, one, they have a closer, which to me is very important.
Very important. Yep.
Licey has JC Mejia. He can be up and down sometimes. And to be honest, I don't even remember the guy for Las Águilas. But for me, having a guy that can close down the games, that's very important to me.
No, their
Number
bullpen
two,
is good. Their bullpen
uh,
is good.
and they got
Very good.
Luis Moreno, which he just
Moreno.
strike out 9 people straight.
He's a
That's
beast.
crazy. So
Yep.
basically, to me, I like their synergy. They look great together. Like they
Mm-hmm.
have very good fun. It's not. That's the thing. When you play in San Pedro Macorís, there's not too much pressure, man. You're playing to get a good contract, see if somebody can
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
you, type of thing. Hopefully, Tati Junior can fit your swing, which is what I hear. ev- That was the whole thing. Like when I was going through it and interviewing the guys, they were like, "Yeah, we all
Is
kind
he
of hit
gonna
the
play?
same."
Is he
No, no,
gonna
no.
play for real?
Who?
No, no, I was wondering
Fernando
because
Tati.
I heard that he might play.
He might
Junior,
play
Junior.
junior. He might play, right? But I don't think so. I don't think so.
Mm.
If you ask me, I don't think he's gonna play. But what they tell me about senior, Tati senior, is that he fits as everybody's swing. Like he could be a batting coach. Like
Mm.
if you
Okay,
notice, they all kind of bat the same way.
they do.
They
Yeah,
do. Just because he actually fits as their swing throughout the season. That's
it's
all
a
it is. And
cohesive It's a cohesive lineup. I noticed
correct.
that. Yeah,
And there's not a
cohesive.
lot of egos. There's not a lot of egos. You don't
Hmm.
see that. So that to me, like Bonifacio talking with the owner, like going against the owner, not the owner, but the son of the owner.
Uh huh.
There's no
Uh
so
huh.
much stuff with the GM from the Las Aguilas, and like he's better than whoever it is. Escogido, they have so much egos, including Albert
Oh man.
Pujol.
Oh man.
So
They're gonna be out. I think they're out. Right? They're out.
they're not out. They're
They're about
still
practically. They're about
fourth.
to be.
Yeah, they're fourth right now. Let's see what happens. There's 3 games or 2 games left, but it's not looking good for them. But even
Licey
if they make the
3 games
round
left.
robin,
So Licey got more games too. Licey
yeah,
has things they gotta make up.
yes,
I think. Yeah.
they got days to make up, and I think Aguilas too because of that whole
Yeah. Right.
debacle, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
tell me now about Venezuela. Who you got winning?
So Venezuela is one of those things that, first of all, I gotta say, I no to Venezuela. They gotta do better job with their highlights. Their highlights are just
Mm,
they put out videos and you don't even hear the narración. Like I want to hear. A mí me gusta escuchar la narración. I
yeah.
love that. To me, that's one of my. I don't know. I'm a nerd like that. I like hearing the play. I want to hear the play by play. I want to see the action. No, I gotta freaking hear Daddy Yankee or whatever video or some cheesy music. Oh, like the guy hits a home run. Let me tell you, in the La Liga Venezolana, you got a ton of guys who just knocking the crap out of the ball. That ball is just like they're playing softball over there. Like that ball, you got a guy, I forget his name. Crap, he's got 21 home runs. Uh,
Damn. How many
21
games?
home runs in like
50?
55
40?
games or something, or 50 games. They play a lot of games in Venezuela. They don't play. They don't take days off. It's la dictadura. But but all jokes aside, los Bravos de Margarita have been the most consistent. They've been in the top first or top two. Uh, the whole season is them y Cardenales de Lara.
De Lara.
De Lara, I think it's going to be Los Bravos de Margarita, and that is my extent of them.
All
So
right. All right. And last but not least, Mexico.
Los Naranjeros de Hermosillo. They've been in
Really?
first place. La H. They've been in first place forever. It's between them and Los Charros, which I like Los Charros with the little blue uniform and stuff. They're cool. La Liga Arco, as they call them.
Yeah.
It used to be Liga MX or whatever it was. They do a great job. Shout out to them. If you check out su redes, they do a great job with their highlights. And one of the best things about them is they actually show defense, which
Hmm.
our leagues are not showing defensive plays really much, except for Puerto Rico when we throw a player out running from second. That's tradition. But besides that, where the defense, don't forget, it's just home run derby all the time.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
they just show home runs all the time. Or Jeffrey Jam brincando como un loco.
Yeah.
But besides that, so Hermosillo, they've been on fire, bro. They're killing it. They got good pitching. They got good fielding. But we'll see. I mean, their playoff format, they're coming on their playoff soon. So we'll see.
All right.